Hi guys, this is Lucky, and you're watching Lucky Stars Karma Cards. And this is a new series called It Is Written in the Cards. This is going to be a series where I discuss current events, I discuss celebrities, and other things that may be going on from a cardology and astrology perspective. All right, we're not going to be necessarily using tarot on this channel, but I am going to show you in other ways how celebrities and different current events can be predicted using astrology and cardology and numerology. So if that's something that you are interested in, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, your family, things of that nature, because we're going to be getting into a lot of different stuff on this channel. And I'm really excited. A lot of this has been a very long time coming. So the fact that I am even recording my first video on this channel is super exciting. So hopefully you guys will stick around and you'll find interest in this. And one thing I want to let you know, that even if you don't know who a celebrity is, or there's an event, current event, or something I'm discussing that has maybe nothing to do with you per se or affect you per se, everything trickles downstream. And what that means is that you're likely to find value in something that I am discussing, maybe as it pertains to you and your specific situation. So I do encourage you to watch these videos and listen intently. You are likely to learn a lot on this channel, which is really what I am intending for it to do. Okay. In regards to astrology, numerology, and cardology. Okay. So most of you know, I have been really intently watching the YSL trial. So our very first person is going to be Young Thug, as is written in the cards. All right, so we're going to be discussing Jeffrey Williams, AKA Young Thug. I'm going to be sharing and using my cardology software. If you are interested in it, you're welcome to join and see how it may benefit you. But let's jump into this, guys. All right. So first things first. Okay. Jeffrey Williams is a Leo. His real name is Jeffrey Williams. Why does that matter? I'm going to show you in a moment. And his stage name is Young Thug. Some of you know him. Many of you should. He is a conglomerate. His resume speaks for itself outside of his criminal history, which is what we are sort of getting into in this spread, or in this read. We're going to talk about things like what could have been or what was predicted, what could have been predicted based on his cardology, based on his relationships to others, and why is this important for you? Because I'm showing you how people are markers for us. I'm showing you how we relate to others using cardology. I'm just using a celebrity in order to do that. Okay, so let's jump into this, guys. And again, I'm going to be sharing my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. And hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so this is Lucky Stars Karma Cards. This is the life path spread that I have up here. Okay, and if you notice on this screen, it'll give you like breakdowns of what things are, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. for those of you that are interested. But in the life path cards, so this will tell you about, if you're on this screen, it'll tell you about your life path in particular, why you are where you are in your life, what you're meant to do. There's so many different things that you can look at in from this perspective. So we're gonna type in Jeffrey Williams information. He was born on August 16th, 1991, which makes him a Leo 10 of clubs. He's a double Leo. And here you can see that it gives you key themes of the cards and what they mean. So key themes for this card: teacher, podcast, politics, elections, success in communications, recording, conference, insomnia, speech impediment, success with groups. Well, let's just look at that, okay? Just looking at the description of the 10 of clubs, all right? First of all, it's the, let me turn this off. It is the card of the recording artist. Look at that. Literally right here, it shows that it is the card of recording. Okay. And who is he? A recording artist. The 10 of clubs people, literally, I promise you, and I know so many 10 of clubs people, and I think the first thing that I tell them is be careful what you say, what you write, what you speak, because your power to speak things into existence is higher than anyone else. You have the power to, like, the power of your tongue is so strong that it can make or break your life. All right. When you speak success over your life, you will have success in your life. When you speak ill of your life, you will have ill. So it is extremely important for 10 of clubs people to be very mindful of what they put out into the world, even though as it becomes a thought, right? They're the teachers. They're meant to gain knowledge, information, and all of that, to disseminate that information to other people, to reach large groups, etc. They usually do have insomnia or have trouble sleeping because their mind is always moving. Their mind is always working, you know? And some of them even have different speech impediments. Now, speech impediment doesn't necessarily mean that they stutter or what have you. If you think about, you know, Young Thug specifically is from Atlanta. That's a different type of talk. When you communicate, like, a lot of people, even during the trial, was having difficulty understanding a lot of the lingo from Atlanta and the people that are from there, and having to repeat themselves and stuff like that, because, or really go into detail and explain what they mean, because they have a different way of speaking. So you see that here with speech impediment, but it also does attribute or attest to, if you think about Young Thug's music, right? For those of you who have listened to his music, there's a lot of things in his music where you have to, like, really sit and listen. Maybe you don't understand, or you are thinking he's saying one thing and maybe it's something completely different. Now, if we go into this, right, looking at it more, politics and elections, this is huge. First of all, this is so big. Why? Because for those of you who have watched, regardless of what side you believe to be on, a lot of this trial was done out of it was a political agenda behind it. And we can get into that as I go on. But it was meant to teach him something so that therefore he can teach others, right? There's a lesson learned in this. And elections, you know, this literally, he got released on, you know, his plea deal like 4 days before, what is it, October 31st, 4 days before the election. And I'm recording this video on election day. So that right there just kind of gives you a little bit more emphasis in what I mean. You have success with groups here. Well, you see that he has success with groups of people based on his notoriety and how far he's come with his musical career. Okay. Now, if you come down here, you see the life spread, and then the karma cards. So this is his birth card. This is his planetary ruling card. If he wasn't a Leo, and let's say he was a Gemini, it would be a different card here, which would have um, a different group of themes, right? So this is giving you the life spread of the 10 of clubs person, okay? And you can see one of the things, you have the moon. So these are direct cards, the part with the D, and then you have the vertical cards. His moon card is the Ace of Hearts. You've got an Eight of Diamonds, Eight of Diamonds, Two of Spades in Mercury, King of Spades, Nine of Diamonds in Venus, Three of Hearts and Three of Clubs in Mars, an Ace of Clubs, 10 of Hearts in Jupiter, Queen of Clubs, Six of Hearts in Saturn, the 10 of Spades, Five of Spades in Uranus, Five of Clubs, Queen of Clubs in Neptune. Then we get into the cards that only have one card, which is the Pluto card. He has a Three of Diamonds in Pluto. He has the Ace of Spades is his result card. Cosmic Lesson is a Seven of Hearts. His Cosmic Moon card is a Seven of Diamonds. And his transformation card is the Five of Spades. Why is that interesting? Well, if you follow me on Patreon, you'll see this is a Five of Spades week, the week that he was released was a Five of Spades week. And that is also his transformation card. That is the card that changes things for him in his life. And usually these changes with the Five of Spades are changes for the better. They don't always have to be, but they are definitely changes for the better. Now, when you look at the Jupiter here, I love this because this really does like embody, this is somebody that is a sponge that likes information, knowledge, all of that, learning, and then likes to give that information and knowledge to others. Okay. Now, if you look at karma cards, now he only has two karma cards. He's got two karma cousin cards and two past life cards. Okay. So his first karma card is the card that we give to, right? And then the second card is the card that gives to us. And same thing with the karmic cousin cards and the past life cards. So as the first karma card, he's got the Jack of Spades. So there's something about him or the information that he's bringing forward that is likely to initiate things. He is likely to provide something that initiates something, with the Jack of Spades being that card. And the first karma card. The second karma card, I love this too. And let me tell you why. Because this indicates that he has some form, the Four of Spades, he has some form of protection. Okay. On a more mundane level, he's probably, you can see from this card that he is probably someone that is very kept or keeps his partner in a very good position. probably very giving, um, that sort of thing. As a karmic cousin, the Seven of Clubs, this indicates to me that sometimes fame and notoriety can turn negative, right? Sometimes you can have a lot of people and a lot of people around you, and it can be from a negative perspective, right? But his karmic cousin being the Four of Hearts, this is the what gives to us, okay, um, where we get the blessing is the Four of Hearts. And what's interesting about that is that he was released on a Four of Hearts day, on a day that karmically was given to him, right? Where the universe was giving something to him. And the Four of Hearts, if you look in the book, in the playing the hand you're dealt, and you look up the Four of Hearts, um, the Four of Hearts is the card of ancestry, roots, home, protection and relationships, hospitality. Um, it is the card of close circle of friends, okay, marriage or relationships with distance. Now, come on, guys. He was locked up almost 2.5 years. This was this is literally showing you in the cards how you can see how he probably inadvertently, because I'm sure he doesn't know his cardology cards, but how the cards play out in our lives so intricately. Okay. Now, the other thing of that, and I'm going to show you what I meant by, okay, the down here you can see, what did I say? He got out on a five of he was released, took the plea deal on October 31st, 2024. That was a five of spades week. What is his transformation card? The five of spades. It's sudden changes, traveling. What happened? He literally traveled from jail home finally after all this time. And what made this so great was it was completely unexpected. And what I mean by that is some of you might, whether you've been watching the trial or not, I'm going to explain what happened in this scenario. So he's been on trial for 2.5 years. Since the trial, he was arrested on May 9th, 2022, and indicted on that day, which was a 10 of diamonds, ace of hearts day in cardology, right? His trial began on November 23rd, 2023, which was a 10 of hearts, ace of diamonds day. Okay. Now, why does that matter? So if we're in reference to all of this, when it comes to this situation, you can kind of see based on the cards how this was meant to play out and why. Okay, and I'm going to show you in just a moment. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So now we can only see in this spread, this is the life spread. This does not show us or break down the year or any of that in the life spread. But I am going to show you, you can actually find in the book, Playing the Hand That You're Dealt, the cardology workbook, I do show you where you can find the spread. So he is 33 years old. And you will find the spread that he is in here. I'm actually going to So in this spread, you can see he is sitting, his card, the 10 of clubs, is sitting in the Neptune Venus um, spread. He's sitting in Neptune Venus this year. Okay. Um, but with that being said, looking at his past life cards, so he has a past life with a 9 of clubs energy and the Jack of clubs energy. Okay. Um, the 9 of clubs energy is likely to be maybe a person or a situation that he has to give to. And the Jack of clubs is something that he gains something from. Okay. As far as past life is concerned. Okay. Now, here you can kind of put in, it says love there, but you can put in anything in this area and see what the card of that means. Okay. It's interesting because one of the things that they were arguing about in the trial was that what does young thug mean? And they were saying it means truly humble under God, um, and a bunch of other stuff. And then so to put it in the card of a place or thing, and it means the 4 of hearts is super interesting. Thug means the 4 of hearts, family, roots, ancestry, protection in relationships, that sort of thing. So getting back to the trial, okay, what was so interesting in regards to him taking this plea deal? Well, he wasn't offered a plea. Well, he was originally offered one, but he had declined it. Okay, he declined this plea deal. Why is that so interesting? That happens all the time. Well, he put himself on the mercy of the court. He took a gamble and he won it to a degree. He took a gamble in saying, hey, um, I'm going to plead guilty. And once he pleads, he doesn't have a deal. So whatever the prosecutor comes up with and says, hey, we think he should get, and the prosecutors requested that he get 45 years in prison and 25 to be served actually in prison. Um, and then the um, his attorney came and said, well, before they're saying he needs to spend all these years in prison, but they just offered us parole if he agrees to these different stipulations. So he can't be this bad of a person if they're willing to let him go free today. But now they're saying, oh, because he doesn't agree, that he needs to go to prison for this amount of time, et cetera, et cetera. So ultimately, he left it up to the judge, which is a very scary thing to do. I think every attorney that was watching the trial, people that I know, attorneys from all over the world, were like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. It was crazy for him to do that. His own attorneys advised him not to do that. They did not want him to plead out. One, because they were winning. I mean, let's be real. They were winning this case. And he was just ready to go home. He was ready. I think, he made the comment, that he's hurt his family and his children are hurting, and he may have had some like health concerns, whatever, that if he could possibly go home, that he needed that to happen as soon as possible, rather than waiting the 3 or 4 months to find out if they're going to get a not guilty verdict. And then either if they did get a guilty verdict, they have every leg to stand on to appeal it and to take it to an appellate court. But that could be another 2 years before they're free. And that's not necessarily guaranteed, although with all of the lack of evidence in this case being based on hearsay, I mean, I don't know how anyone wouldn't think that that would be approved. But, you know, I'm not him, he's not us, neither here nor there. So that is why this was so significant, um, because he literally just threw it all against the wall. And the judge had every right to say, nope, I think because you're pleading, and he didn't plead guilty to everything. He did plead nolo contendere to a few things, well, a couple things, which one I think was like being the leader of a gang. And nolo contendere, for those of you who don't know, means like, I don't believe that I'm guilty of this, but I also am not going to fight it. So I'm just going to take whatever you give me for it. So it's not a guilty plea. It's more of I'm not going to fight it type of plea. It reminds me, and attorney, any attorneys in the comment section, you can let me know. It kind of reminds me of somewhat of an Alford plea a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, so moving forward, that's the reason why this was such a significant thing, right? And that's why I think this is so dope. And I just want to show you the importance of a name, guys, how important a name is. Jeffrey Williams his middle name is Lamar. Now, if you look here, his name is a 10 of diamonds, okay? What is a 10 of diamonds? It's abundance, it's lottery winnings, attention, status, emotional extremes, princess treatment, little girls, bipolar disorder, wealth, and celebrity. Now, in these key themes, you may not see every single thing play out in the way that you think they are, but likely play out majority, right? So what happened? Well, we never knew who Jeffrey Lamar Williams was. Who did we know? We knew Young Thug. It wasn't until this trial that we knew who Jeffrey Williams was. And his indictment date is also the 10 of diamonds. Now you got people who won't even say Young Thug. They completely call him Jeffrey Williams. But his indictment date is also the 10 of diamonds, okay? And that's interesting because it one tells us that this indictment was more about money than anything. This indictment was about gaining attention and status, and we can see that from the district attorney's office using this as a political component to gain political stance in the city of Fulton County, the district attorney. But it was also a very emotionally up and down trial. And it's still going on. It's just going on with only Shannon Stillwell and Yak Gotti. So make sure that you guys are still, if you are watching, that you're still showing support, you're still showing love, and you're still watching, because no slime left behind. Okay. That's where we're at with it. But with that being said, this also means that his personal name was meant to bring him some level of abundance, celebrity, wealth, that sort of thing. But if we go and we take out, look at this. I want to show you what it means for Young Thug, which is who we knew him by, the 8 of diamonds: promotion, management, perfectionist, bank, loan, success after hard work, ruthless, fickle, death of a deep issue, becoming a boss. If you know anything about his story, first of all, every person, every celebrity that has done um, an interview in regards to him, one of the very first things they say is, oh my goodness, he works so hard. I don't think anybody works harder than Young Thug. He's always making music. He's a perfectionist when it comes to his music. Um, and the death of a deep issue is him becoming Young Thug, taking on the persona of Young Thug, per, like takes him out of poverty and changes the lives of not only his children but his like generations to come, right? This is ending karma, like ending karmic struggle in regards to impoverished and energy, in regards to his family growing in poverty, living in poverty. You know, his mother has, I believe, like 12, 11 or 12 children, you know, and that's difficult in and of itself, right? So he has become the leader, the boss, not only in his work life, but also in his family, in his home. He has been promoted, right, to a leadership role. And that comes through success and hard work. And maybe even a little bit of ruthlessness, maybe even a little bit of having to, you know, he was indicted and pled guilty to some really difficult charges. It's not to say he is actually guilty of those things or isn't. It's saying there may have been some ruthlessness that involved in that energy, right? I just wanted to explain that and show you kind of how your name actually really does matter, guys, and how we kind of live up to it. And you can change this energy by changing your name. You know, if you were to get married or you were to have a stage name or a pseudonym or something of that nature, the energy of that does absolutely change. All right. Now, you can take the composite cards, which is really dope here. You can use the composite cards and sort of, let's look for the 10 of clubs, which is obviously his card. And let's say the 10 of diamonds, which is the card of, and it's the 7 of hearts, relationship drama. This is the card of the day he was indicted. This is the card of the 10 of diamonds is the card, excuse me, of his indictment date. And it's relationship drama, boundaries, betrayal, unconditional love, control. Obviously, it goes in hemorrhoids, digestive issues, but even these things, if you break it down and how deep that is, like one of the big issues that his attorney kept trying to get bail and kept getting denied was he is having to eat undigestible food that's not good for him, things like that, that was causing digestive issues, etc. So again, these are things that end up playing out maybe on a more mundane level than what we think, or on a more spiritual level even. Um, but if you look at this, boundaries, betrayal, this was someone who a lot of the reason that he was indicted had nothing to do with him getting caught up with anything or whatever. These indictments came about through other people pointing the finger. And that's the reason why there wasn't a lot of strong footing in this trial, because a lot of this had to do with hearsay. And well, I think he did it. And, you know, someone that is not, that somebody is trying to get themselves out of trouble is thinking, well, Young Thug is a conglomerate. Nobody's going to go after him. Like, and even if they did, he's got the money to just throw at it. So, you know, nobody's ever going to be willing to like arrest him or whatever the case may be. And this whole case was like 9 years old. So it took forever for this to even come about, because the original district attorney did not think that they had enough, strong enough evidence to say that he was the king of, you know, King Slime, as they like to call it, or that he was someone that they could prosecute and get a conviction off of the evidence that they had, right? A lot of it was him being betrayal by friends. And this was an emotional lesson of learning what unconditional love really is. Learning to love people even when they hurt you sometimes. And sometimes that happens with the Seven of Hearts energy. Okay. But look at this too. I just want to bring this down, guys. Look at this. I cannot make this up. A relationship with someone who is in jail or not available. Okay. I also want you to see jealousy or issues over money here. The cards tell you, it is written in the cards. I don't know how else to explain it. This, in and of itself, says that on a 10 of diamonds day, these things, because the composite card being the Seven of Hearts, these themes are going to be an issue on this particular day. Okay. Now I want to take a look at the Four of Hearts, which is the day that he got out. Also, let's see, Four of Hearts. It's an Ace of Diamonds. Why does that matter? Well, the trial actually began on November 23rd, 2023. That is the day, the very first day of trial began. And it was a 10 of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds day. Okay. So what happened here? What happens? The 10 of Clubs, which is Jeffrey's card, and then you got the Four of Hearts equals the Ace of Diamonds. This is the key themes to this is a new job, a new possession, greed, impatience. Okay, let's acknowledge that. Impatience, stubbornness, reckless, luck, manifesting, okay, ambition, wealth. Now, if we take a look at impatience, what did I say to you as far as him getting out? He couldn't wait. All he had to do was wait 3 or 4 months and the trial would have been over and he would have either gotten a not guilty or guilty verdict. And more than likely, not guilty based on the lack of evidence and where the trial has been going thus far, right? They, like I said, I have yet to see or talk to anyone, maybe Vera, for those of you who have been in the law and crime chat, maybe Vera, but other than Vera, she was a troll in the law and crime chat for those of you who don't know, but that really believes like this man is guilty. Vera and Miss Love, the district attorney, like that actually like everybody else with the evidence that has been presented up to this point, it's like how is this man even being convicted? Like that's how I think everybody has been looking at it. You know, not because he's a celebrity, not because he was this or he was that or some music, you know, incredible musician or whatever, but really just from a humanity standpoint. Like I would not, the fact that we can convict people based on hearsay with like no evidence, I personally just don't think that that is even fair for our judicial system. And I think that a lot of this trial was meant to show people and shine a light on the things that was going on a maybe smaller scale so that we can take a really good look at our judicial system and say, this is really happening to people, that they're really indicting people and we are, you know, like, oh, they're guilty, they're guilty, they're guilty. They must be guilty even without looking at the evidence because they're throwing so many things at it. And it's like, there were 56 counts, I believe, on this indictment. And really, the entire 151 days in this indictment was these attorneys defending against hearsay, where there was literally such a strong lack of evidence that it was actually really sad. But you can see this is a day where he would feel impatient. He would be stubborn and stuck on what he desired, but also a day where he would achieve some luck or have the ability to manifest something here. Okay. And forgive me, I know there's some words that you see how reckless and recklessness are here. I'm still working on the software, so um, I'll make some improvements as I see them necessary. And I know that I need to make some improvements as far as being able to see it on your phone and have it look more seamless. It's a lot easier to do on a computer or like an iPad, that sort of thing. Um, but I am working on it, so bear with me, guys. But um, as you can see, now if we come up here to the life spread, okay, 11/23, which is the day the trial began, he's got the 10 of hearts in Jupiter. It's in the vertical position, but in life path, the 10 of hearts is in Jupiter, baby. That means he's got some sort of benefit or good luck in some type of way when it comes to anything having to do with people, with large groups of people. So things that happen to him on a 10 of clubs day are likely to happen to his benefit. And this trial began on the 10 of hearts day. That right there says that he was going to come out on top no matter what. Okay. Even if it was fair across the board, he was going to come out on top in a fair situation, no matter what. Okay. His attorney, Brian Steele, which is his main attorney, he's been his attorney for 10 plus years. I don't know. His birthday is 5/16/65. Okay. Brian Steele is 3 of diamonds, 7 of hearts. Let's look that up. So his birthday is May 16th, 1965. Look at that. This is Brian Steele's cards. He's a 3 of diamonds, 7 of hearts person in cardology. Financial creativity, financial worries, multiple businesses, celebrity, anxiety, entertainment projects, film, currency, mogul, the bully, and short patience. Interesting, because I will say, you can see, even though he himself is not a celebrity, he is a celebrity attorney, right? And you got the 7 of hearts. Remember, we talked about the 7 of hearts with the 10 of diamonds down here, right? The betrayal, the all of that. His attorney is a physical manifestation of these issues, okay, that are shown down there. And show you the King of Clubs is the card for law enforcement. It's the master teacher. It is the father figure card. It's recognition for your knowledge, uh, sensory pleasures, food, drugs, sex, witty banter, selfishness, data, right? So it represents, or some of the key themes that the King of Clubs is. And what does Brian Steele do? He's an attorney. That's not to say he's enforcing the law, but he kind of is on a different, on the other side of that. All right. So this is him saying he has a love of the law and all of that. And that is one thing that I actually, I was just watching an interview about him, and I cannot remember who it was, but was saying that he genuinely loves what he does. And you could see it right here. He loves the law. It is a passion of his in some type of way. All right. So with Young Thug, we could see Brian Steele's is his Pluto card, the 3 of diamonds, right? And when we read life spreads or any spreads, the Pluto card and the result card are read together. So Brian Steele, regarding Jeffrey Williams, is someone that comes in, and when somebody is our Pluto card, we kind of feel drawn to that person for whatever reason. Maybe there's something about them that we want to be more like, or incorporate into our own life in some type of way. They oftentimes bring us some type of very hard lesson that results in our result card, our of some type of benefit that equals this. And for him, it's a brand new beginning. It's a change. It's a transformation. It is lifting the veil of illusion or secrets and things that are hidden. And interesting because his cosmic lesson, Jeffrey's cosmic lesson, is the Seven of Hearts, that betrayal, that, you know, those boundaries. And to see that Brian Steele is also Seven of Hearts means that in some type of way, you know, Brian Steele may be someone that, because the cosmic lesson card is like a higher octave of Saturn, right? Saturn is the father planet. Saturn is restriction, you know, but it is a lesson from the universe that we are meant to learn. And his lesson is, what is real unconditional love? What does that mean? His lesson is learning what deep friendship really means. His lesson is learning that, but you know, people that you may be closest to may betray your trust, that type of thing. And that is his cosmic lesson that you see here. And it's literally a physical representation of this is playing out in his life is through Brian Steele. Okay, so let's take a look just real quick and go into the relationship cards. Now, in the relationship cards, you have, let's say, Jeffrey Williams, and we're going to put his birthday here. I keep wanting to say 10. I don't know why. It's 8/16/2020. Don't mind me, y'all. It's been a day. Okay. And then Brian, I don't know what Brian Steele's middle name is. So let's say 05/16. Interesting that both of them are born on the 16th, 1965. Now, if you look, when you put in one person, their name, their birthday, it'll give you both of their cards. If they have a second PR card, like if they're a Scorpio, that'll also show up. In this one, both of them only have two. And you got the Three of Diamonds and the Seven of Hearts. And down here, okay, in the relationship cards, for those of you that are interested in it, you have to be a part of the Empress package on Patreon. But on the relationship cards, you can actually click on it and it will give you like the meaning. So it's the teacher card. It literally says, in relationships, the Ten of Clubs often goes through a lot of different relationships due to their own indecision, short attention span, and natural desire for variety, or they attract people like this. They usually do better when they remain single and not beholden to a title or in an open relationship where freedom is key. They're often very affectionate, and physical touch tends to be important to the Ten of Clubs. They often idealize love and they often want it all. So there is likely to be some difficulty committing to one person. For this reason, affairs are likely. The Ten of Clubs is known to be extremely independent. The females of this card have a strong masculine energy and tend to act as the king or queen, and often attracts partners like that or partners that like their power and authority but desire to dominate or compete with them, or they become too dominant in the partnership and allow their masculine energy to dictate or control the relationship, often creating resentment and power struggles. Think of Nicki Minaj, she's a Ten of Clubs person. Think of Madonna, she's a Ten of Clubs person, as far as females are concerned. So when you're reading this part right here, think of female Ten of Clubs people. It says, as a relationship composite card, this is a relationship where there is a lot of wisdom to be gained and shared with others. I'm not going to continue to read all of that because we're not even talking about the relationship composite just yet. But again, it goes into the key themes of what what the 10 of clubs may mean. Okay. And you could do the same thing with the other cards and it will give you definitions and all of that. But if you come down here where it says the composite cards, so here we have the relationship composite cards as they show up. So these are the cards that are being added, and this is what they equal. And then you can see the meanings of these cards. So between Young Thug and Brian Steele, their very first card together is the King of Spades, guys. This is the most powerful card in the deck, okay? This right here is the most powerful card. Literally, the very first theme of it is the card of God, okay? But this also, if you look at one of the things, it's guns, it is murder, right? You can see all of that here. And what is this? Is the attorney, and this is somebody that is charged with guns that may have, led to an unaliving or what have you, right? Their second composite card, the Four of Diamonds, right? And you can read what this means, and it will tell you the composite card of this relationship when it comes to the Four of Diamonds, where financial stability plays a big role, but this is only achieved through hard work. There may be high expectations of one or both people involved and a tendency towards stubbornness. Together, this relationship may stimulate motivation for building a solid financial future or strong value system for one or both parties. Young Thug paid a lot of money for his attorneys, and rightfully so, because they were really great attorneys. Okay. But if you look here, you can see the cards repeat themselves. Why do they repeat themselves? Well, that's because Young Thug he's a double birth card. And I talk about that in my book, but he feels the energy twice because he's a Leo, and that's a fixed energy. But if you come down here, okay, you get to see who feels this energy and where they feel it at. Okay. So Brian Steele does not have any of these influences, any of the cards, not a 10 of clubs, not the king of spades or the Four of Diamonds in any of his influences, but you could see Jeffrey does. So Jeffrey's information pops up here where you've got the King of Spades in Venus, which means that in some way, it also plays a role if you think about what the King of Spades is. Jeffrey talks about his love for guns and why he wore dresses to cover up his automatic weapons and, different things like that. But also being in the Pluto position and in the cosmic lesson position, right? And here you can click on the Venus connection and it'll tell you or give you an explanation of what that means. You can click on Pluto, it'll give you an explanation of what that means. The cosmic lesson will give you an explanation, boom. And you can kind of see how that plays out, all right? You could do that with anyone, obviously. And I encourage you to, if you guys are interested in seeing this. But I think I'm going to do a part 2 to this video because I didn't want it to be this long, but it is giving you an idea of, hopefully it has given you an idea of, one, the cards and how they show up in our lives. And two, the importance and how things play out in our lives and how relationships to others, what they signify and how it shows up in the cards. But I will end up doing a part 2 to this video to kind of go over the yearly stuff and why I think Young Thug may have been impatient, but did necessarily what was right for him. Okay. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. And Um, I really hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.